You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Chris, the Herons are back.
Well, you heard Danny said it. The Herons are back. All right, I think I'm back to normal. Welcome to another episode of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Chris Duran, and alongside me at the moment, I do not have anyone. Danny is out still, of course, playing some daddy duties, helping out. And for those of you that are kicking it in the chat with me, thank you guys so much for hanging tight and hanging out with us here tonight. Solana should be around the corner at some point, but we'll get to him in due time. But wanted to bring this episode in because there was a lot going on in the Twitter sphere over the last, I'd say, 24, 48 hours. As everybody knows, that there was this there was a couple of things that were going on yesterday. It was sort of the celebration of the brand new announcement of Miami Freedom Park, that we're going to be moving over to Miami Freedom Park. It's official, I guess. And then aside from that, you know, we also got a couple of different players. That's something that I kind of wanted to go over as well. Surprisingly, for a Thursday in the middle of the week where there's no games, there's actually some pretty decent news, right? I know a lot of people down here in South Florida, especially in Miami, are really happy about the news that we're finally going to be moving 2026. It is, I guess, as official tissue as you can get it to be. And I'm sure a lot of people in Miami-Dade County are happy about that. Saga Daddy here is mentioning in the chat, we need second goalkeeper, and we got one. We're going to go over that because I think we got more than one. And Skrilla saying, Chris, we didn't forget you clickbait us last live. Listen, I didn't clickbait anybody. The card or whatever the YouTube thing was said exactly what we were going to talk about. Danny posted it exactly what we're going to talk about. Okay. There was no clickbait, my friends. No clickbait. Okay. And Joker, blessed with a Chris only pot. I kidnapped Solana. That's fun. Let's go. Now Mike V saying hopefully by 2026, Tata out. I hope that you keep that same energy if and when we win this year the MLS Cup, because if we win the MLS Cup, this opinion right here has got to go, Mike. This opinion's got to go. But I want to talk a little bit about, before we get to some of the events that happened, I want to talk a little bit about Mike V out, El Bigote, about the mentioning of the goalkeepers, right? So first off, I want to mention something here, right? I didn't know when recently or how recent CJ Dos Striker, aka CJ Dos Santos, that's not his real last name, it's CJ Dos Striker, for those of you who don't know, or CJ Dos Salsa, right? I didn't know he got injured. I didn't know that he broke his hand. Did anybody in the chat know that CJ Dos Santos had a broken hand? Because if I'm not mistaken, in the 2 games ago, I did see him practicing. So, I mean, look, we got CJ Dos Bachata from El Bigote. We got Stancy with the CJ Dos Samba. And Stancy, I'm not a bad fan. I'm not a bad fan. Soccer Daddy is saying we purposely injured him. Come on. Oh, okay. All right. So Joker coming in with the facts right here. Friday practice the day before the game. Ouch. Ouch. That really sucks. Okay, maybe I wasn't paying attention. The team said it several times. So CJ Dos Striker is going to have to take some time to recover from his hand injury. So now here's the deal, right? Everybody knows that Drake Callender is expecting a baby. It's a beautiful thing. But now somebody's got to fill in that role, right? So you would automatically assume that it's going to be Cole Jensen, the guy that we got in the draft. But then, as some of the events unfolded yesterday, and then everybody got the email 2 days ago about the events, apparently one of the 4 players that people were able to meet that night over in Wynwood is a guy named Owen Finnerty. Now you're probably asking yourself, if you haven't done the research, who in the world is Owen Finnerty? Okay. Now I did some research in Owen Finnerty. This kid is a guy out of college, plays for the Inter Miami 2 team. And we ended up signing him on a short-term deal. And I imagine that the signing came because of the simple fact that we have this injury to CJ Dos Santos, right? Did I say Busquets? Did I say Busquets? If I said Busquets, I'm sorry. It wasn't Busquets. It's Drake Callender that eventually he's going to be having a baby. So it's Drake Callender. So we ended up signing this guy named Owen Finnerty, but now I imagine he's going to finally be a backup to Cole Jensen, right? But then now what ends up happening is that we get this news that this gentleman right here, standing next to Sexy Messi, this guy right here, which goes by the name of Oscar Ustari, right? He's from Argentina, and he's 38 years old, if I'm not mistaken, is apparently rumored to sign to Inter Miami. Now, again, I want to mention this because this picture right here is also making its way around the Twitter sphere and the universe. And he's in front of a book wearing an Inter Miami jersey. And there's people that are alleging that he is like fully signed. Now, we all know the deal. Whenever somebody is like fully signed, like they're holding up the jersey, they're signing on some random ass paper. If I'm not mistaken, he hasn't signed yet. This guy, Oscar Ustari. But everybody is presuming Oscar Ustari to be the starter. So it's not really Oscar Ustari, it's Oscar Ustarter for the time being. But like, what the hell? Why? I mean, is Cole Jensen not ready? Is Cole Jensen not ready to play goalie? Or this new guy that ended up going to random events in Wynwood, Owen Finnerty? First of all, where would Owen Finnerty be working right now if he wasn't a soccer player, just based on his name? Let's see if you guys can give me some good stuff in the chat. Owen Finnerty, where does he sound like he works without even looking at him, just by his name? Owen Finnerty. While you guys cook there, okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Solana. I got him sitting in the backstage. Joker, sorry, but your kidnapping didn't work long enough. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him onto the stage. And guys, thank you guys so much. Hold on. Before I bring him in, hold on. So El Bigote is saying Owen Finnerty works at Publix. Ooh, I like this one. Tommy ATL from Scarves and Spikes, figure skater. That's not Finnerty. Sounds like a figure skater. Sounds like a hockey player too, Skrilla. Okay. Bed Bath & Beyond. I could see that. Ooh, this is a good one. An Irish Pub by Tank. Tank, I saw you at one of the events in Wynwood. That's one thing that Inter Miami didn't fuck up yesterday. That's for sure. All right. So let me go ahead and bring on none other than Solana. Solana, what's going on, my friend?
What's up, bro? Just got my my new Suarez jersey. You can see if I'm repping it. Yeah, man. It's pretty legit. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy tonight. I don't have my my extra light, and I apologize for being a little late, but my son was having a little trouble getting to bed tonight. He's excited about his game tomorrow, so it's it's understandable. But I heard you talking about Oscar Ustari, and I'm sure we'll get into a little bit of Oscar talk in a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And don't worry, it's all gravy in the Navy, baby. You know, better late than never. That's what I say. Now, and Tank, yes, I did see you. You popped up on a story in one of the Wynwood bars. I believe it was I believe it was over at La Tropical. So, but that's cool, man. That's cool. For those of you who went out, if you got anything, you could put it in the chat. It looked like it was a fun time over in Wynwood. I haven't been to Wynwood in some time. But for the most part, it seemed like it was a disaster in the beginning and they sort of made it up at the end, but we'll get to that in just a second. Now, what I was talking about before you got on here, Solana, was the fact that Drake Callender obviously may be out, due to, having a baby at some point in the future. CJ Dos Santos ended up breaking or hurting his hand hard enough that he's going to be missing some time. We have Cole Jensen, who's our backup goalkeeper. But then I don't know if anybody noticed, but there was a person that went to some of these events last night, and a guy named Owen Finnerty, who he is from Inter Miami too as a goalkeeper. He was signed on a short-term deal, but we still are rumored to be signing Oscar Ustadi now. And again, I'm going to keep saying that, guys. I'm going to keep saying rumored because this picture does nothing for me. For those of you on audio, this is Oscar Ustadi in front of a Los Campeones book with Messi on it, wearing the same sort of jersey that I'm wearing, an away jersey for Inter Miami. This doesn't confirm anything for me. There's no confirmation of him signing. Now, there's a lot of rumors. There's a big buzz, but there's nothing like tangible.
Yeah, but you've got the biggest journalists who cover the transfer window in South America, like Germán García Groba. I saw Gaston Edul, who covers Argentina and also covers MLS for MLS Español. He posted about it too. So if you've got folks like that who are posting it, I mean, of course, you can never be 100% sure until, you see the team post a picture of Chris Henderson with the player in the jersey. That's usually the picture you get. But I mean, if you got the heavy hitters, of South American, transfers throwing it out there, look, it's got to be somewhat true. And I'll tell you this, I've attended quite a bit of media events over the last year for Inter Miami. And usually almost all the ones that I was at, Oscar Ustadi was also there with Maxi Rodriguez, who's one of his good friends. And then you also saw him in the picture with Messi, who he's also good friends with from their time in the national team together and all that. So if you start to connect the dots, Chris, I would say that the Ustadi signing is probably more yes than no.
I'm not saying that it's not set behind closed doors. And I want to put this comment up here by Tank. Tank had mentioned that he had seen it on ESPN or got the notification on ESPN right here. Right. I mean, I looked it up all over the place, Tank, and the only thing I found was Inter Miami is set to sign Argentinian goalkeeper, which also, by the way, goes along with this, which is Joker saying done deal, 4-month contract from what I heard. I also heard the same thing. But again, I don't know. There's no confirmation to that. I'm not saying it's not going to happen because we know this team very well. It may very well happen. What I'm just saying is, and people were mentioning in the comments earlier, Cole Jensen, I guess he's just too green. We ended up signing another goalkeeper named Owen Finnerty like 5 days ago, who's also greener than green, I guess.
Yeah, but he's on Inter Miami too, Chris. He just signed a short-term deal to be on the first team roster probably for a little bit. So he's on Inter Miami too. So I would, I don't really follow Inter Miami too probably as closely as I should. But I would assume he's Cole Jensen's backup on Inter Miami too. If I'm not mistaken. I assume they just, they already have Cole Jensen on the roster as the third goalkeeper. So they just signed, the backup or his backup on Inter Miami too, to kind of fill the spot of the third goalkeeper, maybe for a game or for a couple practices. That's probably why they did it.
Yeah, I imagine so as well. But then I just don't know why we'd be doing that at this very moment. I mean, in terms of like signing this third guy, if we were going to sign if we were going to sign Oscar Ustadi, if it was already if the books were getting cooked for this, then I wouldn't see why we would have signed this guy.
Well, I mean, he Joe Kerr is saying it right there. It's especially Owen covered the day before the game last Saturday. So,
yes, he did. I did see that. You're talking about the Chicago game, right, Joe? I think that's what he's talking about.
Now it's funny that this guy's name is Owen Finnerty because I remember back in the day when I went to. Did you ever go to the Bennigan's on Kendall Drive and 117th? You ever go to that one?
Yes, I did. Yes, Owen Finnerty.
Owen Finnerty was a server of mine there. Definitely not the same guy. The same guy. But maybe a distant relative. I don't know. But Owen Finnerty, I can remember, was one of my servers. Insane that he worked at Bennigan. So it's got to be a family member.
For sure. And for sure. And he lost his job because Bennigan's closed down. I mean, the only thing I can think, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Bennigan's is, if I'm not mistaken, they used to have those unlimited ice cream sundae machines.
I think so.
Or am I thinking Sizzler?
You might be thinking Sizzler.
I might be thinking Sizzler because Sizzler was there on Kendall and 117th as well.
It was across the street. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
So, and Amanda, look, you caught me red-handed here, Amanda. I am salty because Dos Santos is injured, because the day that Drake Callender is going to be taking a leave of absence due to being on daddy duties, Dos Striker was going to shine.
He was going
to shine.
And he did really well against Puebla. Against Puebla, when funny enough, you and I got to see him. We got to watch, right behind him, and we got to see him on the field. And it's sad that a player goes down. But I'll tell you this, man. If Drake goes down, you definitely don't want Cole Jensen to be your goalkeeper. So you definitely want somebody who's been around in some tough places. Correct. And Oscar Ustadi has won a few trophies. He's won the Mexican Champion Apertura once. He won the U20 World Cup. He won the Argentinian Cup as a winner. He was also an Olympic gold medalist. So this guy's got a lot of years playing. He played on the national team. He's been playing for a while. The last time, I mean, that it looks like here, it looks like he was playing in Audax Italiano in Chile last year, but it doesn't look like he played too much.
Well, I mean, his most studded time was in Pachuca for 124 games, 2020 to 2023. And then before that, he had a year in Liverpool, Montevideo. Then he had 2 years in Atlas. But the most part of his career, or I guess consistently, has been the team before last, which is Pachuca, from 2020 to 2023. He actually, I believe he played against Miami United FC in a friendly in 2021 or 2022 or something like that.
I wonder how that went.
Yeah, they ended up losing 3-0 by Miami United. So that kind of scares me, to be quite honest.
Trust me, this guy, he's got the experience. Look, he might not be the shot stopper that Drake Callender is under the pipes. But in terms of commanding a team, running a team from the back, playing with his feet and understanding the game and situations, this is a professional and somebody who could fill in, and especially knowing that Inter Miami doesn't really have a lot of maneuverability under the cap. I mean, they only have that one international roster spot, and everybody, especially in the Discord, was talking about Sergio Ramos because he hasn't signed anywhere. And there's a lot of names that have been going around that are free agents. And unfortunately they can't make another signing because they're forced to make a keeper signing.
Now, Mike V wants to chime in with a little funny joke. CJ Juan Santos now. I got a better one. CJ Unmano. So that would probably be
that's for Batter Herons and Espanol, though.
Yes. Now, Marasovic is mentioning something that's super, super valid. Very, very good comment here. How much weight does the coaching staff put into the ability of the keeper to communicate with the defense? This is why I believe that Cole Jensen and a guy with the last name Finnerty are not going to be starting. because of this right here. If
But I
there's
don't.
any, go ahead.
Yeah, but then you're telling me Drake is fluent in Spanish?
No, but the thing is, his skill compared to Jensen and Finnerty is very gross, right? Now, Dos Santos, obviously, everybody can see that he's skilled as well, but I don't think that the coaching staff believes that Dos Santos is as skilled or as nearly skilled to Drake Callender. So they'll risk they'll risk having somebody that's bilingual to play goalkeeper when they have someone that's skilled like Drake Callender. But at this point, if they oversee that Drake Callender is not going to have the time or the ability to play in the future, then might as well get someone that can be able to sort of openly communicate with the defensive back line. So, I mean, I think it is a good observation for sure by Marasovic. I think that you're on the money with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now that we talked a little bit about goalkeepers and stuff like that, okay, because the goalkeeper stuff is cool, but again, there's nothing that's concrete, nothing that I've seen concrete. And I guess we'll end it with this. Took Drake more than half the season to find his form again. This is a comment by Tank. That Monterrey game destroyed him and his confidence. Could be. And then we'll end it here with Joker's comment. Can Argentinian goalie play out of the back? That's a very good question.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen him play many, many, many games. He can absolutely play out of the back. Not going to be an issue.
I mean, look, Joker, he's not going to be salsa dancing like CJ Dos Striker and CJ Dos Salsa. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that. But the good news is, the one thing that I think I can agree with is he is a seasoned player. He is experienced. So at least the team's going to feel a little bit more comfortable with him back there in goalie. Now, I want to bring up a comment before we start talking about the festivities that have happened within the last, I guess, 36 hours. Because Pablo Golazo came in and he thought he was going to throw a haymaker. And he says, Solana ready to reveal secret news that Publix sells groceries. Pablo, typically, I would love this comment, but I am not a big fan of this. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not a big fan of this, Pablo. And I understand why you're commenting this, because obviously in the last episode on Tuesday, it was previewed that some news was going to be broken. Now, mind you, and I'm not going to sit here and fluff up your panties, guys, but like, there was news out there. There was things out there. Okay. And for one reason or another, a lot of people wanted to keep a lot of the stuff that was happening very hush hush. And I'm going to tell you guys something. The fact that people wanted to keep it hush hush is probably one of the reasons why there was such a light showing at a lot of these events yesterday. Right?
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. And I don't want to rant or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. And again, I'm not going to get into investigative reporting. That's not my job. I'll leave that to the professionals to do it. I just like to talk about the stuff. But it does seem a little weird that apparently there was a text message sent to a bunch of the supporters groups, saying that, they wanted everything to keep it confidential. Some folks got the text on Friday. Some folks got the text over the weekend. Some folks got the text the night before. But if it was so hush hush and they wanted it to be this huge celebration of the opening of the launch of Miami Freedom Park, which, don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic that they do and all that. But if they wanted it, why not promote it to the entire public a week or 2 weeks before? And then on top of it, half of the places where they said they were going to have people at, they weren't even there. I saw folks post at Chase.
I want to get to that. And this is right here. Stancy saying horrible marketing by the team. And Stancy also saying, of course, no one knew and most people were at work. Okay. And you know what? Let me tell you, round of applause for you, Joe Kerr, because I give the same respect to Solana for saying enough without giving it all away. And a lot of people were shitting on this guy right here expecting him to destroy whatever this, your private clubhouse parties were for those of you who were like super upset that this was supposed to be hush hush, right? He didn't. He gave just enough information to be respectful of the people that were requesting it to be hush hush. And literally minutes after this episode is when something was emailed out, and then people started talking about it, and people still didn't go to these events. There's other people who posted this and also were not railed in the way that Solana was railed. So you guys, if you're gonna be consistent, there's some people that got to be consistent across the board. I'm sorry about that. But let's talk a little bit about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, and I love that Tank is back. Welcome back, Tank. It's been a while, man. We missed you. But the fact that he's questioning the event yesterday and apparently his picture was used, our producers are writing to me, that seems a little weird. So does Inter Miami, or are people using old pictures to show that there was more of a crowd last night than there really was? Because Tank, if you weren't there and they use your picture, that even goes even more weird. Like, and I don't want to continue down this slippery slope. Like, we're not trying to go against the team here. That's not what we're trying to do at all. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to figure out, like, if this was a huge celebration, like, why wasn't this should have been on blast for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you would have had thousands of people in Wynwood.
Well, let's bring some of this up. Now, I brought up the image that I got in the email here about Miami Turns Pink, a list of the events. I tried to zoom in on it, but I mean, the first event there is Cafecito, where they went over to have some morning coffee at Mary's Cafe and Coin Laundry, right? First of all, like, why are you going to a coin laundry? If you're in Miami, you need to go to like Una Ventanita. Shout out.
Easy. Don't shit on Mary's Coin Laundry. If you've never had a pan con bistec from Mary's Coin Laundry,
it's good.
It's
good.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been there, but I just thought that they'd pick like Versailles or like
100%.
100%. Something like that. Now, so after that, then they did, and I didn't see any pictures. The only thing I did see is One World, One Goal did go out there, but she posted something that she ended up purchasing herself. And I think that they were giving away coffee or something like that. 10:30 in the morning, and it's not up on this screen. It's a Chase it's a giveaway at Chase branch in Little Havana, right? If you fans banking with Chase in Little Havana can receive some of our merchandise if they stop by in the morning while supplies last. So I went ahead and I scoured the internet, and this is something that I found that pretty much defined what it was. So here we have a post by a gentleman named Hector Salas. Shout out to this person for updating the Twitter sphere. Said 30 plus people waiting outside of the Chase in Little Havana. Branch manager insisted that they knew nothing about any IMCF giveaway. Now, look at these pictures. You got people that are standing outside of a bank. Seems like it's completely normal to just have people loitering in front of a bank like this.
All with Inter Miami shirts too, right?
All with Inter Miami shirts, right? And then all of a sudden, you have other people that were participating in some of the posts, like a gentleman that's in the chat now, Mike V, perfectly calling out the organization because there were lots of people. Now, by the way, I just want to mention this. That picture that I posted up was a picture and a tweet that was posted about an hour and a half to 2 hours after 10:30. So this wasn't like 10:35 when it was posted. This was way later. Apparently, not one representative showed up to that Chase Bank. So Inter Miami is already starting off with a banger, okay? And Steve Munoz asking the question here, can we all agree this announcement was all half-assed? I'm going to tell you something, Steve. Not only was the announcement half-assed, but the handling of the announcement was half-assed, where you're asking a certain amount of people, here's your news. Here, I'm giving you this juice that we're going to be doing something, and I want you to make sure that you and your group do not reveal this information, right? It's hush-hush, but make sure you go out with your pots and pans and instruments, and we're gonna live it up, right? But then have a half-ass announcement with a half-ass handling of the announcement, with a half-ass handling of the event or events, and we're not. I mean, this is it was a disaster.
Look, I was talking to Noah Allen's dad on Tuesday, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna go to La Tropical tomorrow? I'm gonna be there with my son." And I told him, I was like, "Look, I wish I could go. I would love to go have a beer with you. I don't know if Noah's gonna have a beer, but I would love to have a beer with Mr. Allen. But I couldn't because I had to take my kid to soccer practice. And then what do I do now? If they would have said before, I could have maybe made arrangements and had somebody pick up my son at soccer practice. But I'm not gonna take my 3-year-old to La Tropical. I mean, honestly, I probably would have taken my 3-year-old to La Tropical. He probably would have gone crazy in there. But I don't know, man. Like a couple more days, and we could have adjusted our schedules. Could have made a party out of it.
I was thinking about bringing my kids over to Wynwood because I think that doing something like this, it's going to bring kids anyway, right? It's not like I'm going to be getting hammered at the bar, but at the same time, like I think it'd be cool to kind of go through all of this. Steve Munoz, Don Cafecito, saying not even the branch manager was aware of it. In another location, they were given the wrong address. El Bigote, this cannot be true, says Gus found Bright after he was sent to the wrong Publix that was on the official announcement. There's no way this is true, Bigote. There's no way.
We need to check the sources on that because
that
is amazing.
Bigote, I need pictures and I need like Apple AirTag tracking. Okay. Joe Kerr saying I posted my Nothing Hard Rock Casino post at Joe Kerr, shameless plug. Don't worry, Poppy. I got you. The picture is loaded up. I was gonna bring your picture up here, baby. So don't worry about it. It's coming up. So and then Tank saying what a shit show.
Oh, and look, you got confirmation.
No,
you got 2 confirmations. Go down one more.
Oh my goodness.
Go down one more because even Joe Kerr's confirming it too. So wow.
Yeah, no, and Joe Kerr's solid with the news. Steve Munoz is pretty solid. I'm going to take your guys' word for it, but let's keep going with this beautiful, luxurious day of yesterday. So then it says in the email, 12 to 1:30, the giveaways continue. Mary Brickell Village. Catch us around Mary Brickell Village as we surprise fans with some amazing giveaways. Now, this is a picture that I ended up finding here online by a gentleman that has an @GreaterFool #2. We were here at Mary Brickell Village, friends, kind of stood up. Now, these 2 guys seem like a couple randos that are just kind of hanging out. I don't know if they looked for tents, but apparently nobody showed up to Mary Brickell Village. I did see that the Miami Freedom Park did post a video of some chick that was giving away 2 free tickets to the first ever game at Miami Freedom Park. And then, of course, you have 2 people that look like they're doing their best acting ever, running up to her like, oh my goodness, I made the ticket giveaway. Thank you so much, right? None of this was planned. I literally ran to the girl. I mean, it was awful. It was awful.
What do you want, man? I mean, it doesn't look like they're great ball carriers there. They see, they need to hold on to the ball. They keep fumbling the ball, every chance they get. And it really, the ones that suffer are the fans, because there's a lot of folks that are in the chat right now that have said over and over, we would have gone, I live in Broward, I would have gone. I mean, they could have got more folks out there, but let me tell you, Chris, it's a little odd too, because I've been to other events. Like, I don't know if you've gone to some of these events that Manchester United has hosted over at Oasis. But when I went to that event, Inter Miami had a stand there. They had like a table, and they did a fantastic job of promoting Inter Miami there. Now, the folks that were there had no idea any of the players' names. Like, they would ask the kids, who's your favorite player? And the player would be like, oh, number 9. That was obviously Higuain at the time, right? And they're like, number 9. Oh, Taylor? I was like, come on, guys, really? You work for Inter Miami? That's Higuain, really? But look, at the end of the day, you are what you hire, right? If those are the types of people who you have in your, working in your business offices, well, that's what you're going to get, unfortunately.
I'm actually trying to see if I can be able to find the story that I found a little earlier. The story that I found a little earlier where it shows um Tank. I'm trying to see if I can find it, but I ended up not putting it up because I didn't want to put up a picture of Tank without his permission, to be honest. But I did see it. I'm sorry, Tank. But I did see it. I'm not gonna lie about some bullshit like that. I'm not gonna put you in a place where I don't believe it was you. I honestly think just the fact that they fumbled everything was just a disaster. I mean, after that event, they ended up saying that they were going to go to a couple of other little pitches. They went from 7 to 8 p.m. To a couple of little soccer fields. They went to Brickell Soccer and Paddle, Soccer Cage Downtown, and Stadio Soccer. Now, they did have promotions on their Instagram that I saw. This was at Brickell Soccer and Paddle. So someone did put down a table and give away a couple keychains and a couple stickers. So there was something here, right? This was the only picture I was able to see. Now, obviously, if you're Brickell Soccer and Paddle, you're going to load up your feed with whatever pictures you can get. This was the only one I was able to grab. And then out of the other places, for example, Soccer Cage Downtown, nothing. They promoted it, but they had no pictures of anybody there. Stadio Soccer, same thing. No pictures there. This was the very next picture, which was at Grails, because later on that night, they ended up going to Wynwood. They went to La Tropical. They went to Grails, and then they went to Miami Mojito, and then American Social. Now, I ended up seeing first this one. This was at La Tropical, where I took a sort of a screenshot. It says first 500 fans get a free drink ticket. Choose between La Original Amber Lager or the MFP limited edition cocktail. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what's funny? You're talking about that, but the information that I got said only the first 500 supporter group fans would get free drink tickets. So maybe they changed that. Again, that's what the message or the information that I got said. First 500 SGs would get a free drink ticket.
That's rough. That's rough. Now, this picture right here, I ended up seeing, this was, I believe, at La Tropical.
That's it.
And here, I mean, I was gonna save the video, but you could tell that there was maybe a good 30, maybe 40 people there. I mean, it wasn't packed to the gills. I wasn't there, so I can't speak personally because I wasn't there. But there were some people out there. This was the best sort of quality screenshot I was able to get. This was a picture over at Grails that I saved. Obviously, you see some coasters, you see some keychains, you see a shirt. They were giving away a couple shirts, which is really nice. Sort of, we're coming home to Miami. That's dope. And then here we have where they were offering free Mas by Messi during the Inter Miami pop-up tonight. This was for one of the locations as well. Well, I believe it was either Miami Mojito or American Social, which Danny would have been excited about because he dreams about Mas Plus. And then that's all the pictures I was able to get. I mean, I saw a couple of other feeds, but it was nothing out of this world in terms of like, you know, how many people appeared, how many people went out there. Again, it's the beginning of the day was a disaster, and it seemed like they just wanted to make sure that they locked in the Wynwood appearances because they knew that the Wynwood appearances would be a little bit more solid to go to.
Absolutely, but a Wednesday night in Miami, Chris, is just so questionable. So questionable. Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and you would have got more of a crowd. You would have got maybe the casuals that are just walking around Wynwood, because at the end of the day, that's really what this was, right? Let's not lie to ourselves. Everybody who's in this chat, everybody who follows the team knows that Miami Freedom Park is going to open in 2026. So it wasn't like it wasn't a huge announcement. What they wanted was to get fans who don't follow the team as closely as we do to know, hey, we're going to be in town. You want to start buying some season tickets. So I would, if I'm in Miami, I would have done it on a Saturday afternoon in Wynwood, and you would have gotten so many people. But
I want to mention something here because Stancy mentioned they should have had Campana go if they wanted a good telenovela. You're right about you're right about something, Solana, is that if they would have planned this properly, like on a Saturday midday, Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday midday, it would have been a lot better of a show out. It would have given people a lot of more time to prepare. I thought that the only reason that they did this in this time is because maybe some sort of construction or something was going to be made public by the county or by the city. And so like people would be able to pick up this information. And so they had to make it happen within a quick amount of time. And then especially since you have this select amount of few people in their little treehouse clubhouse saying, here's this information, don't tell anyone, but we're doing something really crazy, so just be ready for it. That's why I think that that occurred. Some people are this comment by Joe Kerr saying, so 10 people got 50 drinks. Nice. Yeah. So and shout out to Swarm from South America. And listen, Swarm, like I told Solana, better late than never, my friend.
Did you already talk about the players who were going to the events?
Well, the players that I didn't talk about that, but the players that were listed going to the event. Oh, that's what I was going to get to. I was having a conversation with a couple of the guys from the Inter Miami show where I thought that it would be. So first, I'm going to mention the people that actually did go, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, did I put pictures here? Hold on. I don't know if I put the picture up. Let me see. Did I? No, I didn't. So the people, do you have the list up so I could try to work on getting a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Read off the names so that way I can be able to look for a picture here.
Apparently, the players who were gonna be in attendance were Noah Allen, Leo Afonso, Cole Jensen, and the one and only the bartender from Irish Times, Owen Finnerty.
Yeah, and as you're going through that, I went ahead and I also mentioned the fact that I thought it would be even better to have David Ruiz up here, because if you're going to do something that says we're coming to Miami, what other player other than David Ruiz would you put we're coming to Miami? David Ruiz is actually from Miami.
Well, but so's Benjamin Cremaschi.
Telling me, oh, that's right. So, well, but that's the thing. Benjamin Cremaschi and him are both out on international duty,
and that's why they're not there. So, just like I think it was Stan who said it, Stancy or somebody said, Campana was your next option, man. He would have at least brought out, no doubt, 500 women. There's no doubt.
Yeah, for
especially with the new blonde hair. Woof.
So yes, absolutely. Now, Bruno, right here, he was asking about why, where I was able to find him or not. This picture right here. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can delete a couple of these because it says that I've over exceeded my photos. Let's see here. Sorry, while I go ahead and it went. Yeah, guys, I went ham today, guys. I apologize. Here's a picture that I went and I took from Instagram. La Tropical says players have arrived. Owen Finnerty, Leo Afonso, and Noah Allen. So we didn't even get the fourth player,
Cole Jensen.
Yeah, we didn't even get Cole Jensen. We only got one goalkeeper.
He might have been upset because he knew the Ustadi signing was coming and he knew he was going to be stuck as third goaltender. It's probably like, I ain't showing up.
Now, this was the picture where Tank was in asking for an autograph. And I ended up not keeping that picture because, again, like I said, I didn't want to put up the picture, without his permission. I mean, even though it's like already online, but I wanted to kind of be, respectful in that sense. And then I'm going to go ahead and upload another picture just to go ahead and cap off the night.
Now you're missing one picture. You promised Joe Kerr you were going to throw up the guitar up there. So
yeah,
I don't.
That's
want
right
Joe
here.
Kerr to
Joe
get
Kerr. Right here. This is to cap off the night. Joe Kerr put it up on X and on Twitter. Hard Rock Hotel was pretty weak tonight. Not even sure this was actually IMCF pink. Pretty sure this is how it looked every time I've been there. And I got to tell you something, Joe Kerr. I speed past this guitar every home game to go to Homestead. And I'm telling you right now, this is not pink. This happens all the time. And I'm going to tell you something else. The one time that they actually did an Inter Miami sort of based thing, that looked beautiful. Not like this.
Would have been a lot nicer if they would have thrown the herons on there, with the pink or something, or IMCF or something. But yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, somebody also mentioned before we get into that last topic, somebody mentioned in the chat a little earlier if we were going to talk about the new, I guess the new badge or the new logo, but I don't think it ended up changing. It was just the fact that they took the two herons off and they wanted to make that
and
that
they
video,
traveled
right, Chris?
home. Yes.
Okay, so there is no change to the badge that we know of, although there was something on Twitter going around from some fans saying that there was confirmation of a badge change, but that we know of, concrete, no, there is no change for now.
And listen, the dude Abires saying they didn't want too many people to show up. They had a finite amount of swag. I can give a fucking solid fuck about what kind of how amounts of swag they got. I guarantee you they got boxes of keychains, boxes of shirts, boxes of all kinds of stuff at Drive Pink that they could have handed and people would have taken without hesitation. The fact of the matter is it's not that they didn't want too many people to show up. You're talking about you're finally moving to Miami. Inter Miami is finally moving to Miami with the best player playing on your team. And you're going to hold it in secrecy, but then ask the supporter groups to come out with whatever they come out with whatever instruments or anything like that.
Just checking. By best player, you meant Luis Suarez, right?
Well, at this moment.
Okay, just checking.
At this moment. So, and yes, they have XBTO swag stopped up.
I bet you they even have extra season ticket member cards that they never gave out to people that they could probably just give those out and people would be like, oh, I got an Inter Miami card. I mean, dude, it's so easy to make merch, towels. I mean, it's so easy and cheap to make the merch. I mean, all the teams make it. The only thing that I've really seen Inter Miami make is maybe like those little signs that went out, like when Messi was there once, or the little flags that when Messi came. But I've never seen them give away anything in the stadium. Like it would be great to give out a shirt one. Let's have a pink out or a black out. Everybody give a black shirt to everybody. I mean, that would be cool.
Well, Joe Kerr says, I still got keychains. See me in the green lot. I'll meet you out there, Joe. I got some t-shirts. We could do better than they did at the green lot.
Dude, we could sell those.
Let's do this, okay? I'll make some Phil Neville shirts courtesy of your work. And we'll split it evenly. Well, not evenly. You can get like 80%. I'll get 20. I'll be a nice guy.
You just want the agent cut, the 20%.
I'll take the agent cut. That was all his hard work with the Phil Neville shirt. The 60-40 seems reasonable, Bigote, but Joe Kerr's the man with the master plan. So I'll take 80-20 and then he could give me a couple keychains on the way out. So guys, this was your fantastical night, the legendary night that we all were waiting for, right? It was a big night. It is a big announcement. Everybody is very happy, aside from the people that live in Broward, that we are finally moving to Miami. So this is awesome news. The way that it was handled was super poorly. And one thing I do want to mention, as a matter of fact, before we get off the show, okay, is I ended up calling my season ticket rep because there was also some other news in terms of renewing your season tickets, or if you want to get in line to be able to start getting season tickets for 2026. And it was a big confusion. Everybody thought that you could just be able to put down the deposit, or that season ticket members currently have to put down a deposit. I ended up confirming with my ticket rep that deposit for the 2026 season puts you in line for season tickets for the 2026 season. Now, the people that currently have season ticket, that are season ticket members at this moment, do not have to do that deposit at this moment because you've already renewed your season tickets. So I was able to get confirmation from the ticket rep. The deposits that they're asking for in 2026 are for new members only, and current members don't need to do that. If you're a current season ticket rep, you are already in a priority ahead of the 2026 people. So, and also one more trinket I kind of wanted to sort of give you guys, for any of you, and I just want to be very clear about this, for any of you that decided not to renew your tickets this year because your heart was oh so broken, just know that if you do decide to renew and you pass the time limit of being able to renew, or you want to do this 2026 thing, unfortunately, your tenure time will not be respected when it comes to obtaining seats in the 2026 season.
Why should it? Why should it? You bailed.
I'm just saying.
You bailed.
I just want to make that clear, Solana. I'm just trying to make that clear. I got a confirmation with my ticket rep. And
well, did you also get the free pizza ticket for the September 14th game?
No, I didn't get that.
Oh, you slacked. So you didn't. All you asked for was about the tickets. You didn't ask for anything more. So you slacked. You messed up. You could have got a free pizza next Saturday, and now you're gonna have to call him back.
Well, Danny knows very well that I was very upset that I wasn't part of the pizza party in 2021, and he makes it a big deal because I asked for a free jersey, and Hunter was able to get me a free jersey. Yes, Danny, he got me a free jersey. That's what happens when you ask. And Danny is a piece of crap. Joker, thank you guys so much. Saying right here in the comments, Battered Herons putting out the news we need. I don't know if it's the news we need. It's the news that we want to give you. If you guys need it, great. If you want it, great. If you don't, sorry. Much appreciated, guys. Everybody that's hanging out in the chat, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's a Thursday night. It's a weird Thursday night after a Wednesday night spectacular yesterday at Wynwood. But Tank is beating everybody to the punch. Says get there early. Those pizzas go quickly. Maybe Matuidi will be there shaking hands again. So,
I think he's still an ambassador for the team.
Yeah. And Mike V saying I hate that Hunter is gone. My new rep sucks. Hunter was cool. Hunter was a good guy. If you ask Danny, you'll probably get a different opinion. But I think that Hunter was a badass. So. But listen, that's unfortunately it's the world of business.
Anybody know why he left? Get a better offer somewhere?
Well, I mean, he ended up moving back to his hometown. I mean, I don't want to bring up any other details, but he ended up moving back to his hometown. So I imagine to explore bigger, better opportunities. Jason L is saying, I don't even know my rep's name. Jason, come on, Luna. You got to get on it. You got to get on it. You want free pizza? You want free stuff? You got to get on it, buddy. So, I mean, but that's it, man. This was a jam-packed show. We talked goalkeepers. We talked Winwood and failed setups by Inter Miami, one of the biggest soccer clubs or wanting to be soccer clubs in the world. And I mean, aside, yeah, go ahead, Solana. Sorry about that.
No, man, I was just gonna ask what, if we could bring up one more subject about there was some games on today. Argentina beat Chile 3-0 in the World Cup qualifying in Angel Di Maria's basically his goodbye ceremony. And then I don't know if you saw, Chris, but Bolivia thrashed Venezuela 4-0. But
yeah,
I don't know if you heard where they're playing now. So they moved. They no longer play in La Paz, which was, at an insane amount of feet above sea level. Now they play at a new stadium called El Alto, which is 14,500 feet above sea level. The highest stadium in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Like that's like not fair. Like you can't even breathe.
Advantage. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah,
that's a huge disadvantage for the away teams for sure.
Absolutely. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because there was some soccer going on today. But other than that, man, I got nothing.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, well, I mean, you've already said last words, so I'm not going to ask if you do have any last words. Well, I mean, do you have any last words about kind of what we talked about today with all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to sum it up, Chris, everybody here is on the same page. Inter Miami tried to do something cool, something for the fans, and it just didn't work out their way. Logistics or whatever, miscommunication. It just didn't go their way. It ended up being a flop. What are you gonna do? Just gotta, for them, my advice is plan it a little better next time. Let some more people know. And then just a special shout out. I think Taylor Twellman confirmed today that he indeed watches Battered Herons because he released the video saying that he was sorry that he called Suarez old and that his knees didn't work and that he is one of the top 5 players or something. So thank you, Taylor Twellman, for watching the Battered Herons. We appreciate you having you as one of the Battered fans.
Yeah, and that was a really cool video. I ended up giving him some props on that as well. So that was dope. But there is stuff happening this week, guys. Before we finish the show, Mike Villa saying tomorrow Ecuador versus Brazil. He's rooting for Ecuador, of course. Joe Kerr saying Fort Lauderdale United tomorrow. Support local women's soccer. By the way, Joe, if you can, before we end the show, go ahead and tag the show that you guys do for FTL United, so that way people here can be able to kind of grow and get into that as well. So that's cool. And then obviously we still have some MLS this week. There's 6 games this week for the MLS, and we talked a lot about it on Tuesday on the Battered MLS show. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, look up Battered MLS Battered MLS fans. We're trying to grow this, not just us in terms of the Battered channel, but in terms of just the community, the MLS community. So guys, check it out if you haven't. Like and subscribe if you can. And I mean, aside from that, Solana, listen, this was a blast. Much appreciation to all of you that are listening on audio. For those of you listening on audio, whether it's Spotify or Apple iTunes, guys, thank you so much. And comment where you think Finnerty works at if you want. Aside from that, thank you guys in the chat. You guys are the best part of the show, honestly. And I know it sounds like we're scripted when we say that. From the bottom of my heart, you guys are the fucking biggest and bestest thing of this show. You guys are like the lifeline. So happy for that. And if you haven't, guys, put a like, free 99, subscribe, tell your friends. We're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to grow the community. So help us do that. Let everybody know. Joe Kerr is putting something up and it doesn't show. and we'll post it on our Twitter so that way people can be able to go. And Stancy, don't worry, Danny's probably watching. Stancy saying, "Tell Danny we miss him." Listen, he misses you guys too. He'll be back in no time. But when the teacher's away, the kids get to play. So that's what ends up happening. Teacher left the classroom, and when I was in school, I was a disaster. And Solana, I'm gonna make sure you're a disaster with me. So we're gonna talk.
I'm in all the time. I was down to be the
Yes.
class clown, so let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Yes. So guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Like I said, if you haven't done yet, like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins. And it was an amazing show, guys. So until the next one, have a good one.
Vamos, Lucho.